Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building, man. You guys know what time it is. Welcome to the latest episode of the 12 Personnel Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Graphk Raider. Got my brother Wasted Talent. What's good, man?
Yes, sir, man. Chilling, bro. I'm very, very excited for the way this season is starting to shape up. The camp battles. This is everything we've been waiting for the last few months, man. Football is back, baby.
It is finally here. We have our other guest, one of our other co-hosts and our brother, Sanjit T. What's good with you, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. A lot of updates coming out. A lot of interesting updates. Apparently both quarterbacks look bad today, but we'll get into that, man. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, man. Salute to everybody also here in the building. Thank you to the greatest chat in YouTube history. If you're watching on Sanjit's channel, salute to you guys. Wasted's mine. It does not matter. Just do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button on all three channels. It's free. It helps the algorithm. And also wipe them feet. Pay your bar tabs, man. Get them likes up. I see everybody in there, man. I love it, man. The excitement is here, man. Football, like Wasted said, is officially back. And let's just get straight to it, Sanjit. You know, me and Wasted have been talking about this, pretty much all week long. Well, I mean, week just started, but we've been pumping out content. We know you have as well. I've been waiting, man, to kind of get your take on this whole quarterback situation right now. The defense is continuing to dominate. One day you see Gardner Minshew, right, go out there and cook. Then you hear he's erratic and he's throwing picks. Then you hear that Aiton's doing good. Then he's out there throwing picks. What do you take from this situation right now? A lot of people out there on the ground level, saying that the quarterbacks are struggling and the defense is looking phenomenal. How are we feeling right now, man?
Yeah, so one of the things that I always think about is we have a bunch of guys there, right? We have a lot of the writers, reporters that are kind of coming in and out of camp. Yeah, I was thinking, like, of the guys there, which ones do we 100% know, knows exactly what they're talking about?
Yeah,
right. And that's not a knock on any of those guys, right? I'm just asking that general question because it was funny. I was looking at two tweets earlier today. They're right above each other. One was below, one was above. And one of them said that, Gardner Minshew just threw he's had two terrible plays, right? Maxx pressured him and he threw an interception or something like that. Terrible start to camp. The next one was great start to camp. Gardner Minshew just threw a touchdown to Brock Bowers. Yeah. And they're talking about the same drive, right? It had just begun, but it was the exact opposite narrative, essentially, right? Mm-hmm. And then on the other end, then you got guys that are like, hey, Gardner Minshew looks really, really good. And the guy that I speak to specifically has been telling me the same exact thing. Gardner Minshew is going to win the job. But then on the other end, you got other guys that are saying, hey, McConnell's looked a lot better. Right? And I almost think that the hard thing for us is because we're not actually there watching it ourselves. I think it's hard to judge which quarterback's going to win based off of what other people are saying. Yeah. Right? Plus, let's just be honest. None of us are coaches. None of us work in the NFL. We don't know, right, like what Luke Getsy's really trying to do. We don't know what he values, right? Maybe he values a quarterback that can run. Maybe he values a quarterback that can stand in the pocket. All right, so we don't really know. On top of that, I've also heard that the offensive line is really, really bad. They've had a lot of losing snaps. They've struggled, and that's kind of expected, right? Our starting left guard and left tackle are not in right now. Mm-hmm. So I wonder how much are we being impacted because of those two guys and the offensive line generally just struggling.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming that plays a major role in it, but also, the dominant defensive line that we put together, they also play a role in that as well. Right. I mean, Wasted, how are you taking this right now? It's such everybody, half and half. Aiton's killing it, or he's going to have the job and Minshew's going to have the job. How are you feeling right now with this?
Look, first and foremost, what you got to make right with yourself as an evaluator is this really bad offense or is it a really good defense? Yeah, that's first and foremost, right? Because look, we have a top of the crust defense, right? And then there has to be some growing pains too for the offense because they're just starting to learn this thing. They're all coming together. We have everything's new on the offensive side for the most part, right? When you start talking about it from a quarterback's perspective, from an offensive coordinator's perspective, from a philosophy perspective, they're trying to learn, and we have a defense of talented players who have been together for 4 years. Yeah. Right. So there has to be some kind of grace given to that quarterback room in the offensive group. Also, best offensive lineman not out there. Mm-hmm. Best draft pick from what we think from an offensive line perspective not out there. Yeah. Best player not out there. new running back. So all these different things, right? So I think we need to kind of temper our judgment until we have, the full assortment of players on the offensive side of the football. Now, when you talk about who's winning the job, right? Gardner Minshew, if you hear he's erratic, then that means Gardner Minshew's being Gardner Minshew.
Exactly.
That's who he's always been, right? And,
exactly.
and if you talk about what Luke Getsy values, the only thing you can do is harken back to what he's seen in Green Bay and harken back to the Chicago. If Luke Getsy wanted an erratic, athletic quarterback that can make plays with his feet, he'd still be in Chicago, and he would have embraced Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
I think what Luke Getsy values is, and I think what this team values is, and we spoke about this the other day, Graph, we are a defense-first football team. The philosophy of the Raiders, for the first time in a very, very long time, we've always been the kind of team where, all right, we got Derek Carr, we got Amari Cooper, so if our offense clicks together, we're going to go far. It's never been, we always be like, what if defense could be a top 15 defense and our offense? When Al Davis was alive, the vertical passing game, the offense. Mm-hmm. This is the first time where we've really, really made a commitment to making this team a defensive football team. So that means that we're going to value over dynamic play, ball control, taking care of the football. You know what I'm saying? Understanding the offense, playing the field position game, down and distance. That's all, I think, things that play in the favor of an Aiden O'Connell. So I think no matter what, if it's splitting hairs and it's a 50-50 juncture, they're going to go with the young player that they drafted that is a guy that has a penance for taking care of football.
And a guy that absolutely helped AP secure the job last year. Let's just keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? But also, do you guys remember this? And I know the chat too. The first year of PG, right? People were calling for his head. Who was this? He's supposed to be a defensive guru, the Black Picasso, and so on and so forth. Then you get into year 3, and it's like, whoa, okay. We're starting to see exactly what everybody was talking about, right? So, yes, just like our brother Wasted said, year 3, year 4, that defense should be dominant right now at camp. And this offense is going to take some time to gel. And once again, like our brother Sanjit said, when you're missing the entire left side of your O-line, the starters, what do you expect? Like, what do you truly expect? You know what I mean? And I want to ask you this, Sanjit, because you're an offensive line guy. You're a trenches guy. Looking at the depth chart, I know you're not a big Cody Whitehair guy at all, and I'm not either. You know what I mean? And we know that we kind of have to take this with a grain of salt at this time of the year. This is the first unofficial depth chart. How do you feel right now with JPJ still on the pup, Colton Miller still on the pup, but Colton Miller was there. He was still labeled as the starter, and Cody Whitehair was the starting left guard. What do you take from that?
Yeah, I made a video talking about the depth chart, released it like an hour ago. With Jackson Powers-Johnson, because he's a rookie, I think it's the right thing to do not to put him as a starter. Okay, right? He's a rookie at the end of the day, right? And he was not your first round pick. Even Brock Bowers, if they only listed one tight end and Brock Bowers was the number 2, is not a big deal, right? He's a rookie at the end of the day. To me, it does not matter that Cody Whitehair is listed above Jackson Powers-Johnson. Mm-hmm. At the moment, Cody Whitehair's out there. He's taking every single snap, and Powers-Johnson hasn't passed his physical to be ready to go, right?
Yeah.
And then with Colton Miller, it's different, right? Colton Miller's not a rookie. He's a franchise left tackle, so you're not going to list him as like the number 2 guy.
Yeah.
Right? That wouldn't make sense. It's Colton Miller's job until he's no longer with the Raiders.
Agreed.
Now, if Jackson Powers-Johnson gets healthy and he comes back this week or next week or whenever, I think within 2 weeks he would be the starting guard for the Raiders.
Agreed.
I find it very, very hard that Cody Whitehair is going to start for the Raiders ahead of Powers-Johnson.
Okay. I mean, and look,
I don't.
And Getsy has that rapport with Cody. He trusts him. So Wasted. I mean, go ahead and give me your spiel, brother. I want to hear this.
Look, I mean, first and foremost, when you bringing in a new offensive coordinator or whoever the guy who's in charge of play calling, you have to have somebody who is the mouthpiece for the rest of the guys, right? So Devontae Adams, the guy who's played in this offense, and fortunately, Cody Whitehair is the last guy to play in the offense, right? Mm-hmm. And you have a guy in Jackson Powers-Johnson who's pretty much missed most of minicamp, and he's not going to play this weekend. So there's only 3 preseason games. So how does he win this job? How do you win a job based off what are we doing? I mean, this is the National Football League. Nothing's given, everything's earned. So he's earned nothing at this point. Cody Whitehair will be starting probably week 1, week 2, and then going into the season. Of course, because of where he was drafted and his level of talent, the Raiders are going to probably acquiesce to that and give him the job. But at this point, Jackson Powers Johnson hasn't played enough, been on the field.
He hasn't played at all.
He hasn't done anything at this point. So for me, Cody Whitehair being here is a godsend to the Raiders, because even though he's been, kind of average, he has played at a Pro Bowl level at one time in his career. He understands the assignment. He's a veteran who is like versatile, and I don't think that he's the kind of guy that is going to be some turnstile. I don't think so. Now, do I think he's the guy going forward? No. I think probably about week 3 or 4, JPJ will be out there. But then the thing is that we don't know is how good is Jackson Powers Johnson going to play at left guard?
Yeah.
We don't know that because he was drafted. The reason why we are excited about that draft pick is because of his play at center.
Yes.
Now, if you go back to Oregon and you look at him play at left guard, there were some concerns and questions at that point. Yeah. So I'm not the guy who is like, I think there's more of a chance that DJ Glaze starts and plays than Jackson Powers Johnson.
Wow.
I think there's more of a chance. And I'm not just saying that because of what we've been hearing out of camp. It's the fact that, Jackson Powers Johnson has not had any snaps in camp. And you can't just anoint him the starter at left guard.
No, and I understand that. But the argument is this, right? Is we invested heavily in the JPJ. There was so much talent on the board in that second round when we decided on taking him, whether it was at center or at guard. We assumed, even when we were covering the draft, that we picked him up to be our center of the future, which I still believe is going to be the case. Yep. But, the one thing I'm not worried about is I trust Joe Philbin. I don't know about James Craig. Like that trust level isn't there yet. But I trust Joe Philbin to, even if it's a makeshift O-line right now at the beginning of the season that you have to work with, I trust that he can put a unit out there that can protect the quarterback. Now, will it be a top 10 unit? I don't know yet. You know what I'm saying? But I'll tell you this. Without Colton Miller out there, the JPJ talk, I understand. But without Colton Miller, this thing can get ugly, my brothers. Like, real talk. Like, I understand Mumford at left tackle. He looked pretty good out there, for Colton last year when he went down with the shoulder injury. I'm hearing a lot of great things, and I know you guys are as well, about Glaze at right tackle. But that is a scary thing to think about, man. If you have, you got Mumford, a guy that is a first-time starter, real talk, like full-time starter this year, and then potentially a third-round rookie at right tackle. And then you have Parham, which he's moving to his original position, but once again, he played left guard all year last year. You know what I mean? So a new system, Andre James, which I think he's going to look really good in this scheme. I do. I think he's going to be one of the top 8 centers in this year. I do believe that. I do, because of the switch of the schemes and what we got going on. But man, it's all about Colton Miller, you guys. Like, I look at JPJ as the future. I look at him as the future. At some point, he's going to be in there and he's going to be a mauler for us. And he's going to be potentially a future all-pro type guy. It all boils down to me with where is Colton Miller right now with his recovery and his process. And Antonio keeps saying status quo, right? Status quo. He's working hard. And I know he's in a playbook. I'm not really too much worried about him trying to get out there and get some reps in this new system. He is a veteran. He is one of the top left tackles in the league. I think he'll be fine. Even if you just throw him out there game one and he really hasn't any reps, I think he's going to be fine. But it all boils down to him, man. That's the thing that scares me about this thing. Go ahead, Sam.
You know what's interesting with Colton Miller being out is none of us thought that he would not be healthy for training camp. I remember talking about it back in mini camp, and everyone was like, relax, he'll be back. Relax, not a big deal. He'll be back.
Yeah. Not me.
I wouldn't be surprised. But would you guys be surprised if he's out come week 1?
Yeah, I wouldn't at all, bro. Like I said this the first podcast we did together. Not to cut you off, Sanjit, but bro, he has a shoulder injury from last year, and he's still not playing. There's a problem there,
right?
Because we talking about he didn't play at the end of the season, and then the whole off season is going by, and he's still not there. And he's not getting any younger. And I know because I'm the oldest one out of all.
Right? I think that was what it was he had surgery, and now he's recovering from the surgery.
Yeah, and he had the surgery in the off season. So that was the thing that was tricky to me, right? Because I was like, it happened last year. Why didn't this happen last season? Like, get him ready to go. And so that is kind of confusing to me. But go ahead, Wasted. Get on your soapbox, King.
No, but in all seriousness, that's an issue. He's older, right? It's not like he's a kid. He's not like super old, but he's not a kid. And I think really, to be honest with you, the line that we're probably going to go into the season with is probably Thayer Munford at left tackle and Glaze at right, and or Andrew Pete at left tackle, because he played a lot of snaps last year. And I think we're not going to be at full power at offensive line, and henceforth, we might struggle offensively. We might have to win some games, 17 to 13 or so. We're going to have to do some Baltimore Ravens-esque stuff to win.
I think Colton's going to be ready. I truly do. I think that AP is playing into the whole idea, status quo, blah, blah, blah. And I even heard, rumblings behind the scenes that JPJ will be coming off the pup here soon too. So I think that Colton's going to be ready week 1, but I would be spooked, if he's not ready to go week 1, because once again, it's like you're missing one of your best players on the offensive side of the ball, and at a position that is one of the most valuable positions in the NFL. And you have 2 guys at the quarterback position that are already question marks.
Yeah. So if we had continuity on this offensive unit, I would look at it from the perspective of he's using his veteran status. He's just salting the camp away. He's going to jump, i.e. Devontae Adams, right? Mm-hmm. This is the offensive line, and you got 2 guys in a heavily contested quarterback battle. And the one thing you need to do to decide who's who and what's what is to try to protect them so you can kind of evaluate them. It's been a jailbreak every play.
Real quick, you guys, I did hear Hondo as well speak on that. I know you guys probably seen it as well, that if week 1 was coming up, Colton would be ready to go. So I did see that. I don't know how, and mind you, I rock with Hondo. That is my guy, friend of the show and all that good stuff. But until Antonio Pierce, until these guys state that he would be ready to go, it's still a major question mark. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we can all, report that, oh, he's ready to go. I mean, even I, heard some things, like I said, that JPJ could be off the pup sometime this week, but I also stated that it may not come to fruition. So we don't know.
So
go ahead.
I find it interesting. So if Colt Miller would be good to go if today was week 1, why is he not out there?
Exactly. And that's why it's difficult to believe.
Like you would think that, okay, if he's good to go, he'd at least want to test the shoulder, give it a week camp, see how he feels a week later, right? Because that's going to happen when the regular season comes.
Yeah.
Right. Why would he not be out there? And it doesn't make sense because the O-line is struggling, right? The O-line is legitimately struggling now. It's, potentially because the defensive line is legit. But I don't know. To me, it just doesn't make sense that if Colt Miller is healthy, he should be out there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
With the new offensive line coach, with the new offensive coordinator, with Philbin in the building, with a bunch of new moving parts on that O-line, it makes absolutely no sense that if he's healthy, he's not out there right now.
Yeah, it doesn't, because you have a whole team that are moving in one direction, a whole regime that is trying to establish something here.
Yeah,
there's no Bo Hardegree here. There's no the specter of Josh McDaniels is gone. This is, our head coach's first training camp as a head coach. There's a lot at stake here, and I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. I am not trying to be the sky is falling, wasted, Chicken Little. This is not what I'm talking about. What I feel is that, they understand that there's a little sleight of the hand when it comes to the offseason, because you don't really have to report injuries. Yeah. I think that is the reason why they're not telling us the whole story, because they don't have to.
Yeah.
But pretty soon they will. Yeah. And we will find out. Because I'm going to be honest with you. If it's a rotator cuff, a labrum, anything, you have to use your arms and your hands. Your offensive tackle. He has to see how that feels in real time.
Right.
Bingo. Right. Salute to Spivey, man, gifting 5 OLV Raiders Network memberships. Salute to the Kevin Nash of Mount Shillmore. Salute to Q. No, this is not about a contract at all. This is all about the shoulder and coming back and being ready to go. This has nothing to do contractually at all. Salute to Classic Man Q. Salute to Joe on a $10 holla as well. Sometimes I get tired of keeping up with the preseason and camp news because, to be real, sometimes the analysis just be lazy and clickbaity. People overreacting just to overreact. Not speaking on y'all, of course. Well, hey, you know what, Joe? If we were doing the same thing, I'd want you guys to call us on our bullshit as well. And definitely, that is true. That is true all across the board. There was a lot of it, and I see Sanjit smirking because he knows. There's a lot of it.
At the end of the day, I do this full time.
Yes.
And there's news that come out. For the first week, I talked about the quarter. Oh, this quarterback's doing well. This quarterback's doing well. I'm over that. I understand it is. You don't always want to have to kind of create that type of content, which is why live shows are legit, right? It's one of the reasons why I really, really like the live shows. Yeah. Because, we kind of go all over the place and get into all the different topics.
Yeah. Now, and the people love to hear from Sanjit because we all know that he is the shorts. And I mean, what I mean by shorts, the short content videos, one of the goats of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's always great to hear your voice.
It's tough, man. Shorts are the goat of that.
Oh, yeah. The goat of that. This is facts. I definitely salute Sanjit on the short content, the goat, the absolute goat.
I appreciate that, man.
No, facts. Salute to Hug, man, my guy, gifting 5 OLV Raider Network memberships as well. Salute to the Mod Father himself. Bless you, my brother Wasted.
Thank you.
If you guys want to become a member of the channels, hit the link that's pinned up top on both channels, on me and Wasted. Hey, Sanjit, do you have a membership yet?
Do I have a membership? I don't know.
Did you create a membership?
I might have. I'm not. I do. On YouTube.
Okay. If you guys can also, man, go over to Sanjit's channel, hit that join button, and become a member, man. It definitely helps, especially guys like us that do this full time. It definitely helps us keep the lights on, man. So salute to everybody. And real quick, man, salute to Silver and Fast with a $50 special. Gentlemen, question for all three of you. Are we just going to sit on the $30+ million that we've got in cap space and not use it for anything? What is the advantage of that? Is that money going to a Mustang Ranch fund that I don't know of? Now, look, can I start this off real quick? Because we've said this a million times.
Nice, man.
You want to hold on to some of that when that trade deadline comes up, right? You got to have some type of money because there's going to be some moving and shaking there. If you're a player or two away, you want to have the financial freedom to be able to move and shake. But also, there's no player out there that is even worth in free agency right now to spend that kind of money on. Right. The only guy that I can look at to bring in would be a Stephon Gilmore as a potential, depth piece as a corner. But hold on to that money, Silver and Facts, as much as you can, because that's what great teams do. They have the financial freedom and the flexibility to be able to move around when need be. Let's just say we're in the playoff hunt. The trade deadline comes up and we're in the hole. That kills us. It absolutely destroys us. You know what I'm saying? So we need to be able to hold on to some of that money when it matters. Sanjit, what you got to say? And I know Wasted got something to say as well.
Another thing is it's going to just roll over. It doesn't go away, right? Majority of that's going to roll over. I think there's like there's a certain amount of like guaranteed money you have to spend every single year. But outside of that, the cap just continues to roll forward. So like 98% of that's going to roll into next year. Plus, don't sleep on the fact that we might just end up paying some of our own guys, right? Like say, hey, let's bring Koonce back or Hobb, right? So we'll see what ends up happening.
Merrick too. Merrick has been cooking in camp. Right, he's been balling pick after pick. Right. This is a guy that we may have to take care of. And another glue piece in that secondary, Marcus Epps, another guy where he came in and that camaraderie with those DBs, it came full circle with Marcus Epps in the building. So he's on a contract year. Robert Spillane, a leader on the defensive side of the ball and a captain, 1 year left on his deal. So you want to have that freedom to be able to move around. Wasted, how you feeling, bro?
Look, man, all you who have jobs, right? And that are in a place where you may have a 401k, you might have a pension, something like that. Every time there's something that you see that's out there that you really don't need, do you go and drain your 401k? No, you don't. Because guess what? You got to have some money for the future. Yeah. Or if, say, for instance, you have a fund that you save money just in case something happens to your house, something happens to a kid, just a rainy day fund, right?
Yeah. Because
life is going to life on you. You know that things happen. You know that your kids got to go to college. You might have to buy a car, something like that, right? Mm-hmm. That is how we operate. Teams operate the same way. Yeah. There's nothing out there worth buying at this point. And not for nothing, down the pike, the college funds need to be paid to all our young pups who are on rookie deals. Yeah. We have like, what do they say? How many, like 12 players on rookie deals or something like that are coming up? Or it's something, I forgot the number. I had it written down.
Divine, Nate. That's just on the, and who else? We like not even just rookies, Spillane, Epps. And then think about this. In another year or so, the way Jack Jones is performing in camp, you got to take care of him. And it looks like he's going to be a top dollar type corner at this point. You know what I mean? So Colton Miller may have to, we might have to work on him here soon.
Double back. Yeah. There's a lot of players that need to be paid. They're in the last year of their deal, rookie deals. So you have to have the foresight to forecast keeping a roster together. And this is a problem, I think, with our fan base in general, right? We were always the kind of team in the Al Davis days where Al every year no matter who we had, he always thought he was 2 players away from winning the Super Bowl.
Always.
He always thought that. He always thought, oh, if I go get Jeff George, we're winning the Super Bowl.
Go get Randy Moss.
Never mind. Never mind.
That quarterback.
We go get Randy. We're going to trade everything. We're going to go get Richard Seymour. This is not what we're dealing with. This is the modern era of football. You got to get used to people being smart with their cap dollars. And that's one of the reasons why, and I hate to bring this team up, the New England Patriots, the Baltimore Ravens, these teams that you see that are constantly competing, they are always financially solvent and viable. Yep. That's how you have to be in this league, man. So to me, what you do is you wait to the end of preseason. There are going to be some high ticket guys who might not make teams. There are certain guys that might not fit into a role. There's some people who are vets that are middle of the road vets that might get beat up by rookies. And then you bargain basement shop. You don't go and spend your last dollar in Walmart. Yeah, you go into Neiman Marcus and you look in the bargain bin, and maybe you might get yourself a nice little Gucci shirt. I mean, come on here.
2 stocks. No, brother. Parham is going to be the starting right guard. They moved him there back to his original position. There's no need for Andres Pete to be out there starting at right guard at all.
Did you guys hear Andres Pete? He was asked that question today if he can essentially play on the right side. I think that was the exact question, but he was asked that question, and I almost feel like he obviously was like, yeah, I'm willing to do whatever the coaches want me to, but I felt like he was kind of coming off as I'm playing left tackle this year.
Yeah.
Or either I'm starting, I'm going to be the backup or whatever. Right. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah. No, I assume that he came in to be that guy that can come in and rotate in and out on the left side. I didn't think that he would be on the right side. I think that we have a good problem on the right side of our O-line right now, you guys, with Glaze and Mumford battling it out in camp. Right. And Parham, like I said, once again, going back to his original position where he played at Memphis, that right side, man, we have a really good problem there. It's just that left side, man. And the thing that sucks about this is I don't want to see Andre James struggle and lose his confidence this upcoming year because we were missing out on 2 starters on the left side, because that is going to make his job that much more difficult this upcoming season. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to see the way this O-line looks. What else we got going on at camp right now? How are you guys feeling about, Jack Jones, that secondary right now, man? It looks like they are out there getting to work. I'm hearing good things about him. Merrick is out there. This was the ball hawk, and I know it's camp, you guys, but this was the guy that we were all screaming for coming out of TCU, the guy that will go get the football. And up to this point, it looks like he has located the football at camp. Marcus Epps, another guy that is a leader in that safety group. And Palomau, like, bro, he is balling right now. He's all over the place. Still, though, I'm not hearing enough about the other side. I'm hearing Richardson, good things about the young pup. The rook, they love his measurables. They love the skill set. I don't know if he's going to be ready to go year 1. But also Jacorian Bennett, you guys, hearing a little up and down. Great in coverage, sticky in coverage, PI. Another up and down camp right now. How are you guys feeling about the talk right now with our DBs?
I don't remember what the prediction was, but remember we were talking about the units. I think it was the last time we got together. Mm-hmm. It might have been the first time. I've been high on the secondary, man. I am not surprised to hear that they are dominating. And I don't even think that's related to the quarterback struggling
at all.
I think the defensive backs are just legit, right? I think, there's just guys, man, like, if you can play, like if Jack Jones and Merrick can communicate and they know exactly how to handle, if one guy runs a post, one guy comes underneath, if they just know how it works and, if they can just trust each other, you can't, that type of secondary can't be beat. Yeah. If guys just know how to play with one another, if they just, have that feel for each other. And our secondary has that. Right? Yeah. What was it that Antonio Pierce was saying something about, we had a bunch of independent contractors in the secondary, and then essentially now that's not the case. Now we got ballers out there. Mm-hmm. I think our secondary is going to be legit. And I know, Jacorian Bennett, I saw the reports that he had some flags and those type of things. Those referees that are throwing those flags, those aren't NFL referees, right? We don't know if he's really, and who knows? What if he's been holding all camp and just haven't called it, and that's why he looks good?
Well, what people don't realize that never played the game, Sanjit, corners hold a lot. It's what can you get away with,
absolutely.
Right? It's what can you get away with. That, I mean, when I played corner in high school, what can you get away with? Right. You know what I mean? And the best do it. You watch Jalen Ramsey. Right. It's so sticky. He's like, damn, bro. Like he he was holding on it, but you have to be able to finesse it, right?
Right.
Wasted. How are you feeling right now about all the news coming out, with Jack Jones? Yeah, I believe he had 2 picks today. And he's just been cooking. Even in special teams, he returned a kick to the crib, and he's returning kicks and shit. Like, how are you feeling about Jack Jones right now, man?
I'm not surprised, man. Jack Jones is a guy who, has the skill set of a top 5 guy at his position. He just really does, man. He has the quick twitch muscles. I mean, he's a guy when, he's one of the only guys I've seen, man, in all my years of watching the Raiders, that when that ball is in his vicinity, he's like Charles Woodson.
Yeah.
When the ball is in his vicinity, he doesn't drop interceptions, bro. He doesn't. And the thing with Trayvon Merrick is he's becoming the player that we all thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
And we saw him trending in that direction last year because the main thing is there's continuity here. Yeah. There's continuity. The defense, I don't have any real concerns on the defense. I just don't. I don't have any real concerns. If there's a concern, it might be Jacorian Bennett, but this is the tall, rangy guy that's athletic, that can stay with guys. And I don't think the PI calls that we're getting now, we're going to get in the regular season because, this is a guy that might have to line up against a team's second or third best receiver.
Yeah.
Jack Jones is going to be the guy that's going to follow around the real threat. So you're going to see Jacorian Bennett take some strides, and DeCameron Richardson, man. See, the thing about DeCameron Richardson, man, that people don't understand is this guy is a highly decorated corner, man. And he played in the SEC, man. He played in a very, very hostile work environment, man.
Yeah.
He earned the best tackle grade from PFF in 2023 amongst corners in the SEC. He also ranked 4th in total defensive grade in all of the SEC. And he has a 90.3 tackle grade, ranked nationally best in amongst all corners in PFF, man. Right now, I know you guys don't really have a lot of faith in PFF, but these are all things that show up on his skill set. He is a guy who doesn't intercept the ball, but he's big, he's physical, and he's a great tackler. And he's going to be an asset in the special teams as well. And you get better playing special teams because it's reps. The only thing I'm concerned about, really, my main concern for this football team is our offensive line.
Yeah.
Because without them, the offensive and the defensive line are the engine of the football team. The offensive line is a huge concern.
No, I agree. And what's so funny is you look at Richardson and you look at MJ Devonshire, which had a pick the other day. If you combine both of their games together, you have probably the perfect cornerback. Like, ball hawk. And then you put Richardson's measurables together and the tackler, like you have that guy. You know what I mean? And I'm expecting MJ Devonshire to play a little bit for us as well this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk.
I have confidence in Patrick Graham, man. If Patrick Graham picked those 2 guys, there's something there. Yeah,
facts. Salute to Shalit, man. We out here. 3 of my favorite Raiders content creators. Let's go Raiders. Salute to our guy Shalit on the $20 special. We appreciate you. Salute to the 900 people here in the building. Make sure you guys subscribe to all 3 channels. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. It definitely helps all 3 of us remain in the algorithm, man. Sanjit, I want to ask you this, man. How are you feeling about the big names in camp right now? And what I mean by that is there's a lot of light being shined on Brock Bowers and Dylan Lowry right now. You're hearing Dylan's name a lot during the presser. These coaches are talking about him. The beat writers are asking about him. And then, there's just Dylan is like he is the guy right now in terms of where the excitement is. How are you feeling, man, with all the news coming out of Brock going out there cooking? Michael Mayer as well. It's so crazy because he's kind of flying under the radar here, but like I'm hearing so many great things about Michael Mayer right now. You know what I mean? But we'll talk about him in a second. The Brock Bowers and Dylan Lowry effect. How are you feeling about these 2 guys right now and some of the tape that we're watching and all the news we're getting?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm surprised hearing Brock Bowers is dominating like the way he is, right? Because tight ends, historically the greatest tight ends struggle their rookie year.
Yeah.
Right. Most tight ends struggle. It's a really, really hard position because, as a wide receiver, you're only running routes and you're only being a wide receiver. As a guard, you're only blocking. But as a tight end, you got to be able to learn both. And with Brock Bowers, he's going in motion. He's doing all these different things. They're going to be running screens out wide. He'll have to block and catch. I'm very surprised to hear that he's dominating the way he is because, we're not hearing that DJ Glaze is dominating. We're hearing the guy's doing a good job.
Yeah.
We're not hearing that, someone like Michael Mayer is necessarily dominating. I do know he's having a good camp.
Mm-hmm.
But like with Brock Bowers, we're hearing this guy's dominating.
Yeah.
Right. And to me, that's surprising. Right. But I guess, it's a generational tight end. I guess we should have been ready for that. Right. Yeah. And I do want to see it actually translate as he gets out there. And I want to see how much success he'll have. It's a good problem to have, but the target share is going to be so confusing as we go into this next season. Fantasy football wise, it's hard to draft any Raiders player.
Yeah,
it really is. And even just going in there, Devontae Adams, let's just be honest, he wants to make the Hall of Fame, right? And he has to get his numbers for him to do that. But then you got guys like Jacoby Myers, who I don't think has a 1,000-yard season. He probably wants that. Zamir White wants his touches to show that he's the Raiders running back long term.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Michael Mayer has a lot of he not doubt, that's not the right word, but I'm sure Michael Mayer feels like, hey, they drafted me last year, but they took a different guy at the same position.
Yeah.
So I want to prove myself as well, and they have to figure it out, man. It's a good problem to have.
He said that in his presser initially. He said, I was a little confused. And then they called me, they talked to me, and they kind of talked me down a little bit. And now I understand, the philosophy and what we're doing. Wasted. The depth chart comes out, and these guys are both starters. Like, it's so funny to see that 12 personnel is literally our depth chart. Like that's like, how do you feel about that? See, because now I'm understanding why we didn't really go out there and try to locate another receiver. Like, you're not probably going to carry as many receivers, right? Because we're going to be running this 12 personnel. You're probably going to see 4 tight ends, like real talk, on this roster.
Bro, I said this in the beginning of the offseason. The role that Brock Bowers is going to play is the role that Hunter Renfrow played in our offense. But the thing about it is all those like underneath routes and things like that, you're going to have a guy that's more physically ready and capable and able to deal with some of the hits that Hunter Renfrow dealt with.
Yeah.
Hunter Renfrow was great in third down. He was great in space. He did a lot of backyard football, sandlot football.
Yeah.
He'd get open, and we loved him.
And one. Always called it and one.
Yep, he always did. But the problem with Hunter Renfrow, the same problem Hunter Renfrow had when he was in college, he's a turnover machine.
Right.
Because he's such a small guy and he's very, very physically limited in that particular way. Mm-hmm. And with Brock Bowers, man, now that adds a whole nother element. So, so it's going to be third and Bowers right now.
Yeah.
The cool thing about what I love from Getsy and this regime is that they are not leaning into conventional wisdom. They're looking at the roster, they're surmising what they have on the roster, and they're moving forward accordingly. Yeah. They're tailoring their roster around the players they have, not the players that they want. And I love that, man. Definitely,
man. Salute to everybody here in the building. Welcome to Larry to the chat, man, and appreciate you on the $10. If you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have any quarterbacks. And it's funny because our brother Raider Honcho tweeted this yesterday, and I said, sheesh. It's kind of a real thing there. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look around the NFL, what other competitions do you have? Like, realistically, what other team?
I say this on my show all the time. You have to make the decision to get behind your guy.
Yeah.
So normally, if you have a quarterback you drafted 2 years ago and his contract's coming up, most of the time, that's a sham having a quarterback competition. When you got like a guy that's in a situation of Daniel Jones or something like that, that's a sham. That's his team, and they're going to see whether they made the right investment in him or whether they need to move on. If you have a rookie and you're going to start said rookie, you got to put everything behind him. Like Caleb Williams is definitely going to start. Yeah. All these rookies, these guys are going to start, right?
Yeah.
So when I look at us and people say if you have 2
whoa. JJ's not. He's second on the depth chart, and Bo Nix is third on the depth chart. It looks like Stiddy's going to start for Denver.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing. These are guys that you knew that they were going to kind of bring them along.
Yeah.
You knew that. They were kind of projects. You were just kind of like buying a stock low and hoping that the stock explodes with these 2 dudes, right? Mm-hmm. With JJ McCarthy, he might win that job. I don't necessarily think. I think JJ McCarthy week 1 is a starter at the Minnesota.
I have Darnold starting. Clear cut.
JJ McCarthy's playing too well. There's no reason to start Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold has done nothing, right. and to be honest with you, Sam Darnold has always been a roller coaster ride of a quarterback. Yeah. He's not really that good of a guy. I mean, he's very physically talented, but I think JJ is going to start, right? But real quick, I'm going to put a bow in this. Look, when you say you have 2 quarterbacks, it's like I'm okay with having 2 guys battle this out as opposed to paying a quarterback top 5 money and getting bottom 3rd play.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you have when you have that? Now you have nothing there too. So it's this thing. Conversely, we have not had a quarterback in a month of Sundays since Rich Gannon, who's played at a level that I could give Carr his first few years.
Definitely, a few years, definitely.
First, yeah. But after he broke his leg, well, we were paying him for what he did years previous.
Yes.
And we pretty much were in the same
2016 specifically.
Yeah. Yeah, look, and listen, I know I don't want to bring DC up because that derails the chat.
Yeah.
But he's a guy that we really didn't know what we had in the last few years. We would always assume that this offense was going to take its next step. And if we get this guy and that guy, it's going to go here. Yeah. If he goes to a team with a defense, he going to the Super Bowl. How's that looking right now?
Facts. Salute to S. Dot. In fact, fellas, I would want to see 12 personnel, 4 tight ends, pulling guards, running the ball to the outside. Salute to S. Dot on the $5 special. Interesting. Salute to my guys. Salute to Lord Buddy Bear. Not promoting injuries or anything like that, but I would like to see Maxx Crosby give J.J. McCarthy a proper NFL welcome. Can't play quarterback without getting hit. Talk that shit, Lord Buddy Bear. Salute to my guy on the $5, and salute to the Mod Father himself on the $10 special. You got to go with the kid that went 5-5 with no starting practice reps and a first-time OC and head coach. There's no other way. You can't give the keys to AP's prove-it year to Minshew at 15 and 22 lifetime. And I'm sorry. Look, I agree. I think this is Aiden's job. I know some people may feel different, and maybe some people feel on the screen. I think this is Aiden's job. This is Aiden's job.
It's clear. It makes no sense for the Raiders to start an erratic journeyman quarterback over a guy that they drafted that's young and who you haven't seen him develop and seen his ceiling. It makes no sense. Now, if he's horrendous, you have a guy that you can play.
Yeah. Here's the thing though with Aiden O'Connell. If let's be honest. When you're playing 7-on-7, when you're playing 11-on-11 in practice, and a guy can't hit you, a guy can't take you down. When you're playing that in practice, that doesn't really tell you what type of quarterback you have. Right? You're going to find out what quarterback you have when a defensive end, Maxx Crosby or whoever, comes and smacks the shit out of you. Mm-hmm. That's when you're going to find out, because you got to get up on the next play and realize that you might get hit again. Yeah. And when that team comes and blitzes and, a guy simulates pressure on one side and you think it's coming and you look over here, when teams start mixing coverages, that's when you're going to realize if a guy can play or not. Not in preseason, not when you're playing your own guys over and over and over again. It's the same DBs, it's the same linebackers, the same guys. You don't find anything out in that instance. I'm gonna just say this. With Aiden O'Connell, he struggled last year with moving. Right, it was one of Derek Carr's flaws. Right, he struggled with moving. Yeah. Derek Carr was faster and quicker than Aiden O'Connell showed us last year. So we're going to be in a lot of spots this past season. And I see the super chat, right? Aiden O'Connell went 5-5. How many of those games did Aiden O'Connell? And then how many games did the defense win? Yeah. Right? Because our defense, what if we don't end up having a top 5 defense? What if injuries happen? What if our cornerbacks, aren't as good as what we think? And let's say the defense is like the 15th ranked defense. Yeah. The quarterback can be able to win games, or is the quarterback only going to win if the defense carries the quarterback? Right? So, and I'm not saying that we should go forward with Gardner Minshew. In fact, best case scenario is Aiden O'Connell actually really wins the job, because then at least you have a potential franchise quarterback, right? If Aiden O'Connell takes that job away from Gardner Minshew, that means you have a potential franchise quarterback.
Yeah, no, definitely. And look, I wasn't upset with DC. We knew what he can do with his legs. He's definitely not Aiden O'Connell. I was more upset with him not using his legs. Right. It seemed like most of the time when he did, nice pickup, first down, moving the chains. Like, we just wanted more of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Aiden is definitely not that guy. He's not that guy.
The thing with Derek, and it's the scouting report, is that he's scared of getting hit. Right. That's always been the report on Derek Carr. I forget what game it was. I think it was the Vikings game. But they came and cheap shotted Derek on the first drive 2 or 3 times, right? And I think they threw a 15-yard penalty once, and maybe the second time they didn't. Yeah. But they blew us out. I think the score was like 35-3 or something. And I remember hearing from the other side that they know the scouting report on Derek. That's kind of what you do to him. You get physical with him. Yeah. Right. And
that's what Joey Bosa said about Derek Carr.
Right. And it's just it is what it is. Even when he runs, and in my opinion, right, I might be a little biased. He runs, he ran like he was kind of scared, like he was trying to quickly get out of bounds, I don't know. I think you got to be able to make plays with your legs. I think it's a deal breaker if you can't, right? Because if you can't make plays with your legs, and I'm not talking about just running, right? I'm talking about extending plays, creating plays, right? You got to be able to create plays. Third and 3, if you get blitz, you might have to get out of the pocket quickly and keep your eyes downfield and keep that drive going.
Mm-hmm.
Right, could be the difference between winning the Super Bowl and not winning. Right.
No, this is facts. This is facts.
See,
quick, hey, Wasted, before you get into it, let me just get a few supers in, man. Salute to Philmatic, my 3 favorite Raider info plugs. Salute, fellas. Raiders, appreciate you. And Intel with a bomb. $100 special, man. Salute to you, brother. We appreciate you so much. Intel is one of the GOATs over here. He always takes care of Shieldmore. My dog, we definitely appreciate everything you do for our channels, man. Salute to Intel. 10 Commandments, man. Which quarterback matchup is best against Mack and Bosa? You also have Bud Dupree coming off the bench. Does AOC have the ability to extend? I'm gonna hand that over to Wasted. Well, go talk. Say what you're gonna say first, Wasted.
Well, no. I'm gonna be honest with you. You don't really have to extend plays if you get the ball out fast enough and you know where you're going with the football and you play quarterback the way the game was designed to be played. Like Kurt Warner was not a guy who could take off and run, but he had just the thing that Aiden O'Connell and America needs to realize. If they can protect him and give him 2-3 seconds and he sees the field properly, he has the weapons to get the ball out of his hand. He has guys that know how to get open. Jacoby Myers knows how to get open. Brock Bowers knows how to get open.
Definitely.
Devontae Adams, definitely, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's devoid of weaponry. He just needs to trust his arm, trust his instincts, know where he's going with the football, and trust the guys on his offense to make plays.
Yeah.
That's all he needs to do. You don't necessarily need to run around when you're snapping the ball, you're turning, you're looking, and boom.
Mm-hmm.
Get the ball out.
Yeah.
Get the ball out. Get the ball out. And then now that pressure is not going to come at you the same way because they're getting picked apart. They're going to have to get in sub packages and stuff. And then it's not going to be the same situation that you had when they can pin their ears back and just rush this guy because the offense is woeful.
I disagree, man. I 100% disagree with you.
Talk, Sanjit. Let's go.
No, look, in my opinion, the NFL has changed. It is not what it was. Even in the last 7 years, the NFL has changed a lot. Right, we're teams are scoring more points now. Right, that's a fact. We're scoring way more points on the offensive side. Mm-hmm. Defensive linemen have gotten way better than they've ever been. Right, like in terms of the depth, every team has 2 or 3 really good defensive linemen.
I disagree.
And it's great if like Derek Carr, for example, can make every throw. Right, he had a good arm, but what would happen is teams on 3rd and 4 would mix coverage. And they're going to show a cover 2, and Derek thinks I'm going to go right here. And out of nowhere, they changed the defense up post-snap. And now Derek's thinking just a little bit more because he realized that something changed. Now he wants to go to a second guy, but he's slow. He gets sacked. He can't create. He can't get out of the pocket, right? What makes Patrick Mahomes such a great quarterback? It's the fact that he gets out of the pocket. It's the fact that he keeps defenses honest with his legs, right? When Patrick Mahomes, when a defense is rushing Patrick Mahomes, they're not just freeballing it out there. They're not just going wherever they want, right? Yeah. They're containing Patrick Mahomes as they're rushing. They're rushing slower because they know if Mahomes gets out of the pocket, that's where he's the most dangerous quarterback. The same thing's true with Jalen Hurts. Same thing's true with Brock Purdy. The same thing's true with majority of quarterbacks in the NFL today. But there's like 3 or 4 quarterbacks in the NFL that are on the slower side. Kirk Cousins is a great example of that, right? Cousins, in my opinion, never – has Kirk Cousins ever won a playoff game?
With the Commanders, did he?
I think he won a playoff game. He's been in the playoffs, but bro, I understand. I'm gonna let you finish your thought.
In my opinion, right? So
one playoff win in his career.
So you got guys like Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott, Derek Carr. These guys are great, but when defenses start mixing coverages, when defenses get complex, they start struggling because you got to start thinking a little bit more, right? Because the average defense, right? And teams aren't mixing their defenses up on every single play, right? Because then you can give up a big game, right? That's what would happen if you're doing that on every single play. But on 3rd and 8, like the Raiders did it last year. The Patriots used to do it with Bill Belichick all the time. You show one thing and then you swap post snap, right? Maybe a safety comes down in the box. Maybe a cornerback rotates and it's like a cover 2 with the cornerback dropping back into the middle of the field. But to me, you have to be able to create plays, right? 3rd and 4, you confuse Aiden O'Connell. What's he going to do? Is he he's not slowing the pass rush down. No one cares about Aiden O'Connell's ability to get out of the pocket, right? So I don't know. To me, I think that today's NFL is different. I really, really do think that.
Well, what do you consider today's NFL, right? Do you consider the last 10 years today's NFL?
I think the NFL changes, every 3 to 4 years. It's always changing.
All right. So do you consider, Matthew Stafford a guy who gets out of the pocket? No.
Absolutely.
Not really. I mean, Matthew Stafford's, decently mobile. Do you consider Jared Goff a guy who gets out of the pocket?
Absolutely.
No.
Yeah, absolutely. Both guys get out of the pocket.
Come on,
see, wait, now this is where me and you always disagree. I don't know what you see with Jared Goff. He definitely gets out the pocket.
He doesn't run. What he does is he has pocket presence and he has functional mobility. He doesn't have to take off and run. He knows how to move the pocket, step up in the pocket, climb the pocket, and get rid of the ball.
Yeah, but he can't. What we're saying is he can, though.
He can. But the thing is, you guys are making an indictment on Aiden O'Connell as if he can't develop that. Tom Brady.
Oh no, we didn't say
won
that.
More Super Bowls than anybody,
brother. We didn't say that.
A guy that takes off and runs, right? Yeah. You talk about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is not lighting the world up throwing the football. Jalen Hurts is a guy that squats 825. He's damn near running back at quarterback. And let's see how much he's going to win anything. Peyton Manning has won a Super Bowl in the last 10 years. He could barely throw. Like the thing to me is this, right? no, for real, right? Eli Manning was a pocket quarterback, won 2 Super Bowls. I don't think that the league has gone so far in the future where you have to beat Lamar Jackson to win a Super Bowl. The reason why Patrick Mahomes wins is because he does his damage from the pocket. You know what I mean? And that's never going to change in the National Football League. It's never going to change. And I'm not saying that Aiden O'Connell has to just sit there and be a statue and get hit. I think it's about getting the ball out fast and moving the offense. And to be honest with you, guys, listen, if Aiden O'Connell is terrible, you know what? That's not the worst thing in the world for us. Maybe we can go get that guy that can move and run, right? But if not, right, and he develops, then guess what, man? We have a myriad of talent. You just got to protect your quarterback. You have a lot of guys in this league like Jalen Hurts and all these everybody says Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is a mobile quarter. He can move, but he does his work from the pocket. And it's funny to me how the metric changes. A lot of people will say, oh, Lamar Jackson can't get it done from the pocket. This guy can't, Justin Fields can't get it done from the pocket. We don't need him. Now we got a guy that's a pocket guy, right? He's a smart guy. He processes well. That's what it's about with quarterbacks, processing the information well, seeing the field well. If he can do that, he can be successful, man. I don't think he needs to take off and run.
Salute to Steven on a $5 special as well. Aiden wasn't allowed to move out of the pocket last year because of McDumbass. This is facts. He moved a lot better at Purdue. Now, let me say this. He did, but compared to what that's kind of easy, right? But in 2019, 15 rushing attempts at Purdue. 2020, 12 rushing attempts. 2021, 25. 2022, 43, right? And I'm not even going to an account of how many that he was just trying to get, I almost damn near did some pause-worthy escaping the pass rush. You know what I mean? Like him just trying to get loose and trying to make a play out of nowhere. This guy is never going to be the guy that's going to be able to utilize his legs. Like he is a pocket guy. That's who he is. Like we're not going to be able to make Aiden into something he's not. That's not who he is. He
has to be a guy to feel the pressure and move in the pocket. Like Patrick Mahomes, yes, he is a supreme off the charts athlete. You're damn right, right? Can he move? Can he take off and pump fake and fake guys out and win with his legs? But 90% of the time, when Patrick Mahomes does some of that wizardry and magic, he's really just running sideline. So he's making people miss. He's pumping.
No, definitely.
He'll throw it here, throw it there. It's not like Patrick Mahomes is taking off like Lamar Jackson.
You're right, and Sanjit's right.
So here's the thing, right? So you just made the comment 2 minutes ago, right? You said the NFL is essentially not Lamar Jackson, right? You don't need Lamar Jackson to win. I never said you need Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is a quarterback that literally runs with the football, and he runs to pick yards up, and that's not what I'm talking about. And people are always mixing the two things up together. What you just described with Patrick Mahomes, which is he's juking guys, he's running right, he's running left, and then he throws the ball downfield. That's all I'm talking about.
Functional mobility.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. Trait. So in the NFL, they call it the ability to create. That's the official term of what coaches will tell you that Mahomes does, right? Aiden O'Connell doesn't have that. No. He literally will not run away from a nose tackle. Like John Jenkins could probably chase him down, if we're really being honest. Aiden O'Connell does not have the ability to run away from guys. So last year, this is what's going to happen with Aiden O'Connell if he wins the job. People are going to blitz the shit out of Aiden O'Connell, right? And he'll hit Devontae open, he'll hit Brock open, and it'll work 80% of the time. But there will be plays where teams blitz and those guys get pressed. Maybe someone gets bracketed and O'Connell doesn't like his first read, and then he's going to go down for a sack because he can't get out of the pocket. So teams are going to continuously blitz him. I know Aiden O'Connell didn't start all of last season, but you should look at the amount of times he was sacked compared to some of the other quarterbacks that did start the entire year. Right, the guy was sacked a lot last year. Like, let me see if I can pull the numbers.
I mean, Khalil Mack sacked him 6 times, of course. But
right. Rookie year as well. Broken offense. There's a lot of moving parts.
And it's not even that. It's when Josh McDaniels was here, when the times he played under Josh McDaniels didn't keep anybody to chip. Nobody to protect. He threw him out there because some coaches have this penance to try to be right more than, and I'm going to be honest with you, it looked like that to me, that Josh McDaniels did nothing to protect that kid. He ran him out there and ran the team the same way he would with Jimmy Garoppolo. Agreed. He did nothing to protect Aiden O'Connell. Mm-hmm. And if you look at, as the year progressed, Aiden O'Connell was more viable. Now, the one game where he did not look great was on Christmas when we actually won, right? Yeah. He didn't look great, right? Because that's one of the best top crust defenses that you can think of. And I think that as you grow and as you mature, you learn how to move in the pocket. You feel that pressure. You know how to climb that pocket and step up and deliver. Yeah. But look, Sanjit, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think football, everybody tries to say there's been this revolution in football. And then at the end of the day, when you get to the playoffs, it's ball control, running the football, on being able to stand up in the pocket and deliver the ball in a cold. It's defense. It all comes down to those things. Once you get to the end, when it's time to win the game, all that running, juking, and jiving, all of that new stuff, is everything's so new. It always goes back to regular ass football. It always does that. I mean, that's what I see.
Does it?
Yes, it does. Look at the Super Bowl. Look what the score of the Super Bowl was.
Mahomes is the Steph Curry of the NFL, bro.
Look at the score of the Super Bowl.
I understand that. It doesn't matter. The Chiefs won.
But what I'm just saying, look at the score. It was down in distance. It wasn't, it wasn't some electric show where they were throwing the ball all over the place. It was defense. It was running the football. It was
Patrick Mahomes won the Super Bowl.
No, look, you also got to think about this. How many points did Aiden O'Connell score against the Chiefs on Christmas?
Like none.
Yeah, right. It was like 60 yards of offense, I believe, right?
But keep in mind, the Chiefs have a top 2 or 3 scheme in the entire NFL. That code
in the passing game
is phenomenal, right? So the reason why in the Super Bowl the Chiefs only scored 25 points is because, one, they played one of the best defenses, and they also had one of the best defenses, right? That's why it was a low-scoring game. But that defense essentially shut down the Raiders' offense, right? When we played them, I don't know. I understand, you got to have a good defense to be able to win playoff games, which is a fact, but you also got to get into the playoffs. And the way to get in the playoffs is by scoring points on offense, right? And then when you get into the Super Bowl or in the playoffs, just generally speaking, you're going to play the best defenses. You got to be able to score points, right? Your defense isn't going to be able to win you games in that same context. You got to be able to have a good offense that can score points against good defenses.
Yeah. I mean, you guys made my point for me, though. What I'm saying is that at the end of the day, you had 2 great defenses, and it was on full display, right? You talk about the Christmas game. We have a great defense. It was on full display. And at the end of the day, when it gets cold outside and it's time to win and it's late in the season,
got to be able to run the football.
You got to be able to run the football. You have to be able to protect the football. You have to have a quarterback who's tough enough to step up and climb the pocket and deliver the football. And all I'm saying is that, every team that you play throughout the year is not the Kansas City Chiefs. No. Every team you play throughout the year is not the San Francisco 49ers. You're going to have games against the Carolina Panthers and teams like that. So at the end of the day, if Aiden O'Connell could be good enough to win those games and play well enough for our defense to kind of assert itself, and he can win a few games in the cold late in the year, this team can be a 10-win football team.
Real quick, let's get to the chat real fast, you guys. Salute to David Booth. I promise you, does not matter, AOC or Minshew. Neither are a true quarterback one. Both are backups. If we are going to take the next step, we need a quarterback one. Well, we shall see, David Booth. And I see you said that we didn't really elaborate on that. I mean, bro, this is pretty much just your opinion. We don't know yet. We have not seen Luke Getsy's system without a Justin Fields operating in it. You know what I mean? So we don't know what this is going to look like. So you may be right, brother. And to be honest with you, I may be leaning towards you being right. But until you're proven right, I can't agree with you.
Plus,
I don't know what it's going to look like.
Don't sleep on the offensive coaches, man.
Yeah.
Kobe, Kevin Stefanski took Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
They won a ton of games. Geno Smith.
Flacco.
Shane Waldron took Geno Smith. Right. So, your coaching on the offensive side matters. You can definitely get carried in depending on the defense.
Yeah. Salute to Cameron as well. Pocket presence always comes first. Mahomes has gotten better because his pocket play has gotten better, and he can make the ordinary play consistently. Phenomenal comment by Cameron Papa, and salute to Tank.
Browns made the playoffs with Joe Flacco is 138 years old.
Yeah.
No damn where.
Yeah, and you know what, Wasted? That goes to what you just said, right? One of the best defenses in the league last year in Cleveland, and they made it work. Even with Nick Chubb out. That's what's insane. Like, they had a rookie come in from Cincinnati that came in and ran the football effectively for him. So that's crazy. Right. Salute the 10 Commandments. Today's defenses force you through your progressions. Now, this I agree with. To allow the D-line to make the sack. Casey under, I always butcher his name, zone blitz. Yeah. To make the QB hold the ball so Jones can get the sack. Salute the 10 Commandments. On the $10 holler. Salute to Silver and Facts also on the $10 special as well. If neither of these guys work out, and I hope one of them does, for all of our sake, we've got to make this a destination for winning and show that that's the only piece that we're missing in addition to the no state tax. Hey, look, there's so much to like and love about what we are doing out there, from the coaching staff to the headquarters to the facilities, the no state tax, just everything, right? We're doing it all the right way. To be honest, if we had one of those guys at the quarterback position, which I'm gonna be real, y'all ain't gonna agree with me. Me and Wasted were just talking about this. I wish we would have got Justin Fields. He looks pretty good out there in Pittsburgh right now. I don't know if that's a Pittsburgh thing, but they got him for nothing.
Right? It's a Pittsburgh thing, man. You have to be able to acquiesce and change things on the dime. You have to a lot of times have the kind of coaches who adjust their thought process based off of the personnel that they have in a building instead of trying to, take a square peg and stick into a round hole, right? Pause. But the thing that I will say in parting, right? When you talk about the Raiders, the thing I'm excited about, and it's not the quarterbacks, I'm excited about them building a roster that is greater than the sum of its parts. I'm excited about them from top to bottom having a team that can compete. And Graph, I said this, we keep talking about this, the Baltimore Ravens 49er kind of metric, where you have a team that's so talented that you can sell out and trade the whole farm for the quarterback if these two guys aren't the guys. That's what I'm more so concerned about. I'm concerned about us being competitive and us not being a dumpster fire and to keep building on the progress that we have. I don't need everybody calling for AP's head. I want everybody to see marketable improvement.
But either way, if we don't have a quarterback, you guys, I think we can all agree on this, that having a defense now, right? Having a defense now is getting us closer to the goal that we want to achieve. Finding a quarterback that can get it done is very difficult in football. If it was easy, there'd be a lot more success from a lot of other, we can say this year in and year out. All I'm saying is next year, there's a few quarterbacks that may be available in free agency. There's also some that I like a lot in this upcoming draft. So either way, we're building this the right way. Like Wasted said, the Niners, right? Build that defense, get that together, build the trenches. We already have the defensive line. Let's get that O-line together. Let's get the ground game going. Is Zeus the guy? We shall see. Dylan Lobby looks like he's one of those guys that is going to help us in the ground game. I think the coaching staff, everything that we have, we're putting it all together. If Aiden and Minshew aren't the guys, you know what, guys? I'm okay with that because we're building this thing the right way.
And when that kid comes in, he's going to be successful.
There
because
you have
he's going to have talent around. He's going to have a defense to get him the football back. I mean, most of the problem in the National Football League and the reason why a lot of these quarterbacks fail is because they come in, they have all this pressure on them. They have everything. They're the ones who have to take all of the follies of that team while they're trying to learn how to deal with the speed of the game and the pressure and the media and all that stuff. They're the ones who have to come in and shoulder the burden of a poor organization, where the Raiders are not that. And when you see teams like the Bengals, when they got Joe Burrow, there was some talent on that roster already.
Definitely.
There was a lot of talent on that roster. And when you look at the Ravens, I don't want to always talk about the 49ers. Look at the Ravens. The Ravens are always in a position where they're always one or two players away. So they can go out there and make the kind of move.
Your playoff team.
Go get Roquan Smith. They can go get Roquan Smith because he was the cherry on top of the sundae when it comes to that defense. They can go out there and go get Derrick Henry and bring him in. Yeah. They can go draft Kyle Hamilton and draft a safety that high.
But that's what we're seeing now, Wasted, right? We're saying we can sell we got Maxx Crosby in the building. We got Devontae Adams in the building.
Yes, sir.
Now there's guys that we're developing. That's the thing. Well, Maxx is a homegrown talent, and we developed him as well. But there's other guys on the ascension. You got Malcolm Koonce in the building, Trayvon Merrick, Jack Jones. He's not a homegrown guy, but he's an AP guy. Nate Hobbs. There's so many selling points on this roster now. And either way, we have not had a quarterback, y'all, for a long time. We were very happy with Derek Carr because that 2016 season, we were like, this is it. We have our guy. It didn't work out. Much respect to him. But before then, it was a carousel at the quarterback position always, my majority of my life, and Wasted yours too, and Sanjit. We were trying to locate the quarterback, but we also had a shit ton of problems all over the roster. One thing we have now is
making a decision that didn't value the quarterback like other organizations did. Bill Walsh, the reason why Bill Walsh and his whole coaching tree, and if you look at the Bill Walsh coaching tree, it's kicking our ass right now in Kansas City. Yeah. That's the Bill Walsh coaching tree. Yeah. Mike Holmgren, then you got Reed and Gruden and all these guys, right? Bill Walsh, Mike Shanahan, all these guys. Bill Walsh always had a premium on quarterback play, and Al Davis never did. Al Davis is like, listen, man, I'm going to build this roster. We're going to go out there. We're going to get this guy as long as he throws the ball deep. Yep. We're going to be fine. This is a guy who drafted Don Mosbar over Dan Marino. Yeah. This is a guy who drafted Fabian Washington or Stanford Route, one of them, over Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. He always did shit like that. He didn't really ever really care. He didn't even draft. I think he drafted Kenny Stabler in the second round. Mm-hmm. So Al he always would go on a scrap heap. What happened? Was
he a second round pick?
We weren't even born when they drafted.
Yeah,
him, so
I thought it was a little later than that, but you could be right.
Yeah, but this is the thing, bro. Like, come on.
That's when they had like 70 round drafts.
Yeah, I know. They would go get guys out of the fucking car dealership to play, right?
It'd be 43-day drafts and shit. Like, damn, this shit still going on.
This is a guy who went out there and got Dan Pastorini off of the scrap heap. Yeah. He went out there and got Jim Plunkett off the scrap heap. Yeah. He would get Vince Evans off the scrap heap. Like, this is what he did.
Harry Collins and trading the farm to go get Carson Palmer. I mean, so on and so forth.
Come on, man. Yeah. And that wasn't on him. That was on you.
Real quick. We're over an hour right now, you guys. I'm going to get this super in, and I got to put something up real fast. The analysis I've heard that wins in this modern NFL is offensive play caller, head coach, plus franchise quarterback, plus serviceable defense with potential to be a top 10, i.e. Chiefs, Niners, Bengals. Salute to Paper Chase Mace on a great comment, man. This is facts. Appreciate you. And I got to put this up real quick. This is absolutely hilarious just because of I
was right. He was drafted in the second round, 19.
Oh, okay, you're right. You were 30 years old when he was drafted, so it makes
go fuck yourself.
Salute. I just want to read this name. Furry balls plot menacingly on the table. I want to say.
Blocked.
That's all I'm going to say. So, blocked. Okay, real quick before we get out of here, because we all got other stuff going on, and I got to do this AFC West roundtable show tonight. But I want to ask you guys. I'm going to start with Sanjit. What are you most surprised up to this point about hearing coming out of training camp? Like, what are you most like? Wow, what I mean? It could be a player. It could be one side of the ball. What are you like most like? Okay, wow.
Honestly, I'm not really surprised. To be 100% honest, I felt like this is exactly what I expected. But I will say Dylan Labe obviously is playing a lot better, so you can say that's kind of the surprise. But generally speaking, I expected our quarterbacks to kind of be up in the air. Our offensive line, I think, should be solid when the guys are healthy. Our defense, I expected it to dominate. Is pretty much exactly what it is. Yeah. Now I do want to see if Ja'Cory Bennett's legit or not, right? Because that's the one, And I know Brandon Faison hasn't practiced, so I don't know if Ja'Cory Bennett slotted in as a starter just because of that, or if he's actually won the job, right? But that's like another thing that I'm super, super excited to watch. What is he actually bringing to the Raiders?
Yeah. What about you, Wasted? Seeing all the reports and
the one thing that I'm surprised about is Tyree Wilson and Ja'Cory Bennett haven't stepped up and taken their jobs. Tyree Wilson has been given He's been given an opportunity to take this job. He's been under the tutelage of Maxx Crosby and
what job? Wilkins. What job?
Talking about defensive end, man. Taking it's like kind of assert himself. What happened?
Taking Malcolm Koonce's job?
being the starting defensive end on the other side of Maxx Crosby. Yes. This is a guy that was a 7th pick, man, in the draft, bro. Like, you know, I want to hear more. I don't think he's going to take Malcolm Koonce's job, but I'm not hearing anything that's stating that he's taking the next step, that he's going to be a guy that's in the mix. You know, I've heard more about, you know, Koonce. I've heard more about a lot of other guys. I haven't heard enough from Tyree Wilson. Yeah. This is a guy that has been drafted very, very high. And look, look, we've heard people said that they drafted him because he's a dude. He's a dude. They say he's a dude. Physically, yeah, Hondo. But no, for real. I mean, guys that are that big and that talented and strong and stuff like that, you would think that you would hear more. Okay, let me ask you this. What year did go ahead, Sanjit.
All right. Do you guys think Trayvon Walker's a bust?
No, not at all.
What do you think, Wasted?
No, I don't.
And that was Wasted's guy.
I think he's a bust, man.
Okay.
Number 1 overall pick, hasn't been good. I think that's gonna be Tyree, man, to be honest. I unless he really shows us something, there's a good chance he can end up busting out.
What year did Malcolm Koonce, Sanjit, take that turn?
I'm gonna be honest. I've been saying Malcolm Koonce's a stud since his rookie year.
We both were on the Malcolm Koonce train since day one, but I'm saying it took 3 years, right, to get to that point.
The thing with defensive tackles and defensive ends is you can see it right away, right? Mm-hmm. If a guy's good or not, you see it right away, especially with defensive ends, right? If you have pass rush skill, you have skill, right? Tyree Wilson is slow first step. He's not skilled at all when it comes to pass rushing. Now he can develop, and maybe there's a chance in year 3 he develops, and I'm going to give him those first 3 years. You know, I'm not writing him off.
Yeah.
But we got to also have the conversation. There's a chance he's going to bust out.
No, definitely.
I mean, most of the time, defensive ends flash. Freaks of nature flash, right?
Absolutely.
It all depends on how they're used. Now, when you talk about Trayvon Walker, he's not my guy. I just knew he was going to be the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
I called that he was going to be the number 1 pick because the reason why, and Graphk will tell you that I was saying he was going to be the number 1 pick, and the reason why is because people fall in love with the sports car on the showroom floor. He has the kind of measurables that organizations like the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have been a poor organization, salivate over. They don't really do their homework. They see that kid, they see how big and strong and fast he is, and they go and they jump on him.
I'll tell you right now, and my bad, big bro. I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's all good.
You always do. But I want to say this. If Malcolm Koonce is not out there, you hear Tyree's name a lot more. Okay. Tyree, I've been hearing good things. I believe he came up with a couple sacks in training camp. He's starting to develop. Okay. He's been getting some reps in the interior at the defensive tackle position because he's not going to take Malcolm Koonce's job. I don't care if you're a top 10 pick. It is what it is. We've done this before. We played this game before with Cleveland Farrell, and it didn't work. Right. That's why Wasted lost his shit when we took Tyree. It was like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
I'm talking about Trayvon Walker.
No, I know.
Somebody was saying that in the chat that I was pissed when we took him.
East Coast even said it himself. He's a Jaguar fan. He's in here saying that he's a bust. So he agrees with Sanjit. But I'm just saying sometimes it takes time. It takes time for guys.
You got to give guys time for sure, right? But with Malcolm Koonce, I knew a lot of people saw it, right? The guy's a legit pass rusher. You already saw that. Mm-hmm. Will Anderson was what, 3rd overall pick? Will Anderson's a superstar freaking player. He is Maxx Crosby caliber. That is what he is. Everybody will see that this year.
Definitely.
Right? He's a rookie last year, and you saw it right away.
But the motor is there. Everything.
He's a stud. Jalen Carter's a superstar player. You already see that. Carter will be one of the top 3 or 4 guys this year. He's a superstar player. Yeah. I don't see that with Tyree Wilson, right? I just don't see any flashes at all. And same thing with Trayvon Walker, right? Like, and then don't get me wrong, you know, Walker could develop, right? I think this was 4th year. Maybe he becomes a star this year.
Let me ask you this. If Tyree's going to be a rotational piece this year, barring any injuries, God forbid. Right. Let's say he ends up with 6 to 8 sacks this upcoming season. Is that where do you look at Tyree at the end of the season, and how do you gauge the success levels? Because I think 6 to 8 is phenomenal for Tyree as a rotational guy.
So I think it depends on the quality of those sacks. Right. So this past year, Tyree Wilson had 4 sacks. But if you watch those sacks, they're all sacks.
Yeah.
He literally just chased people around, and he ended up getting the sack just because he chased the guy down.
Yeah.
Very, very little did you ever see Tyree Wilson take a tackle, toss him to the side, swim over the top, spin, or do something crazy to beat that guy and actually get the sack.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think he did that last year. I don't know how many reps in general he had where he actually beat the guy in front of him.
Yeah.
Right. Maxx Crosby beats guys using his skill.
There was one play where he actually just fell on the quarterback. Like
right.
I forgot what play it was. Maxx was under pressure, I think, and I forgot what it was, and Tyree just ran into the quarterback. It was kind of a gimmick, but he still came up with one.
No, and there was another play, quarterback ran out of bounds trying to throw a Hail Mary pass.
There you go, and they gave him the sack.
Right. So, like, you got to look at high quality sacks. Don't look at just the sack number. That does not matter. You got to watch the actual sacks, and you got to see on a play-by-play basis if this guy's having success or not. Yeah. Because with Koonce, you saw that, right? Even though he played like 100 snaps his second year, the guy was legit, right? He was actually pressuring the quarterback. He had like 2 sacks, I think, his second year. Yeah. So you saw that with Koonce, and with Tyree, you don't really see that.
Yeah, but it's a sample size, right? Tyree. And when you talk about, Koonce he didn't have a big sample size ever in his career until last year. They didn't play him. He was an afterthought. So that goes to some of that production. And you talk about the development. I don't think they really knew what they had. But sacks can be misleading because you have people that say that, Walker is a bust, right? Walker had 11 sacks.
Go ahead, my bad.
Yo, Walker had 11 sacks last year. Tied for 18th in the league. So is he really? I mean, 26 tackles. So is this the guy Yannick Ngakoue? So sacks can be misleading, bro. The thing. What I'm saying about Tyree, and just to put it all in a bow for me, it's not the fact that he's going to come in and take the job. It's the fact that he's going to be a factor in the defensive scheme, and it's not going to be 90%. Koonce. I want it to be with hey man, we got a nice little rotate. We got 3 legit pass rushers. That's what I wanted to hear coming out of camp. Yeah. I at no time did I think that he was totally going to take that job because listen, they drafted him, right? And then Koonce's contract is coming up. So now what are the Raiders going to do at this point? Mm-hmm. What are they going to do? Because if you pay Koonce, now you can't keep Tyree.
No, that's not true. You pay Koonce another contract, and once his contract is up, Tyree's will be up. You have the 5th year option. You have the 5th year option wasted. You can do that.
Yeah, you can. But what I'm saying is that does that really make sense? Because you have other guys that are making that ascension. You have a lot of money tied up in this defensive line, bro. You're paying Maxx Crosby. You're paying Christian Wilkins. Now, Malcolm Koonce, you got a lot of people in the national media who don't know who he is. They will know this year who this man is. They're going to have to pay him commensurate to what they pay Maxx Crosby. It's going to be rough.
Real quick, let's save some of this for next week on the 12 personnel. Salute to Indiana Raider, gifting 5 OLV Raiders Network memberships. Salute to my guy. Appreciate you, brother. As always, love the default picture to the coffee and convo. Raider, I'm the one here giving Tyree his props. What do you mean? I'm the only one that's saying, look, allow him to develop. You know what I'm saying? Give him an opportunity to get right. You know what I'm saying? So Raider at 96, that's just hilarious, man.
I'm not saying Tyree's a bust. I'm saying we'll give him 3 years, but things don't look good.
Sanjit said he was a bust with a capital B. He's a bust.
I love it, man. Once again, you guys, salute to everybody here in the building. I got to get out of here. I have a show on the AFC West Roundtable in 45 minutes. If you guys can, go over to the AFC West Roundtable on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. I'll be over there cooking a Chief, cooking a Bronco, cooking a Charger. Pull up on me. Salute to my brothers. As always, it's a blessing to have my guys here. What is this, episode 3? I believe 3.
Because we missed one last week because I was on vacation.
Yeah, so the 12 Personnel Podcast will be back next week. Sanjit, let everybody know real quick on the way out where they can follow you and all that good stuff, bro.
Yeah, YouTube, Sanjit T, or Las Vegas Raiders Network on YouTube, Sanjit T on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram.
There you go.
Raider Nation Unlimited, featuring Wasted Talent on YouTube, Wasted Talent Raiders on X, Twitter, or whatever they call it, and Wasted Talent Raiders on Instagram. And everyone, please go over there and subscribe to all because I'm hitting certain milestones. And guess what, man? I need to get up there, man. Come on now. That's what you guys waiting for.
This year, man, a GOAT is loading. I promise you, man. You on the way, King. Real talk. Salute once again, man, to everybody. Next week, we'll finally have a game to go over. That's the good part, right? We get to break this Minnesota game down to a T. So we're going to have some fun next week and actually have some football to evaluate instead of just going off of what the hell is going on at training camp. So with that being said, you guys on the way out, wipe them feet, hit them thumbs up, pay your bar tabs on all 3 channels, hit that subscribe button. And once again, we love you guys. As always, we appreciate y'all. We are out. 1.